Hello, welcome to Whining About the Texas Hill Country by Sydney Scott. In recent years, Texas Hill Country has come to adopt the name Texas Wine Country. This is due to the fact that there are over 100 wineries in the area. Fredericksburg, Texas is the epicenter of these wineries with 50 wineries and tasting rooms. If you've never been to Fredericksburg, it's quite touristy. It's a very historic town, but you can tell that tourism has hit it pretty hard. Not in a bad way, in a good way. It's definitely built up the town, but we'll get into that a little more. In fact, they've named a portion of their highway on 290 Wine Road. Wine Road is home to 22 wineries that are right next door to one another. For those of you who have not been, as I said, the main attraction is wine, but there are definitely other things to do. According to the Orbitz Travel Guide, it is the second most visited wine region after, you guessed it, Napa Valley, California. My original goal for the Creative Works Symposium was to determine the impact that human tourism has had on the land value and biodiversity of plants and animals in Fredericksburg, Texas. In order to do so, I wanted to interview 5 to 7 winery owners to see if they had an understanding of what the impact of tourism and urbanization was on Fredericksburg. Sadly, due to COVID-19, I only had the opportunity to do one phone interview with one owner, and the rest of my research has been on my own. I interviewed one of the 22 wineries on Wine Road, Gary Gilstrap, from Texas Hills Vineyard. Gary was a biochemistry major, so he was very in tune with his science side. Although he was not an ecologist, he did have very interesting insight. As a winery owner himself, he stated that the amount of wineries and tourism has been good financially for Fredericksburg, but it does have its drawbacks. Put slightly, he says. Gary is a Texas Hill Country native, except for when he went to college at University of California, Davis, otherwise known as UC Davis. He knows that the original settlers were the first producers of wine in that area, using native Mustang grapes to produce the wine, which I learned in my research as well. Plant biodiversity has not changed overall. As you can see in the bottom right corner, there's a picture of Texas Hill Vineyard with all of the different kind of wildflowers that grow. Bluebonnets, red poppies, Indian paintbrushes, they're home to all of these beautiful wildflowers. So the biodiversity hasn't changed, but grapes are definitely grown more domestically now than they were originally. However, animals are seen less and less frequently the more widespread wineries and tourism become. Gary used to see 100 white-tailed deer, which are native to the area, a week. But he says the number has gone down a lot in recent years. Overall, Gary does not feel as though the impact on biodiversity and the ecological aspects has been great enough to cause people to whine about the Texas Hill Country. In my research, I learned that Gary was correct. The town has stayed primarily the same. Although it has more of a tourist attraction, it seems to be more of a hidden gem to Texans. I wish that I had been able to firsthand experience the wineries and see the beautiful scenery and ask more questions, but I'm overjoyed I will no longer be whining about Texas wine country. Cooper,